everyone. I want to apologise I couldn't make it physically and I wanted to contribute. So I want to do a short talk titled The Crypto Landscape, which will be more about the actual movement, the philosophy and core feeling running through crypto. The first subject I want to cover is what problems are we aiming to be free from? Okay, all might appear calm in the current economic climate, but make no mistake, the global monetary system has serious problems. It's buckling under its toxic design and will for sure become an old paradigm, a dot in history. Every fiat system has within it a design to implode, a design to fail. It's the nature of the beast. A beast based upon centralized debt, centralized supply, and centralized inflation. Over 590 fiat currencies have collapsed since one of the first fiat systems in China collapsed in the 11th century, and there have been major wobbles with fiat systems all around the world, most notably in 18th century France and, say, 20th century and 21st century America, mostly all due to hyperinflation. Central banks and fractional reserve banking are problems. All of us being used as products online and getting nothing back is a problem. Our privacy being under attack everywhere we turn is a problem. Middlemen taking fees for next to nothing is a problem. And slow delays in personal transference of data or value is also a problem. It's all outdated, and the common thread of issue with all of these problems is centralization. Just consider this. Control of a currency is one of the most powerful tools a group of people can wield. Ask anybody today in Ireland, Portugal, Greece, Zimbabwe, Venezuela, or Cyprus who lived through those countries' recent financial crises. And what crypto does, it promises to take that power away from the greedy small groups of illusory authority and hand it back to the people. In terms of fraud, those bankers that caused the 2008-2009 financial crisis were never punished. In fact, the banks are now even bigger and got bailouts in tax from the people they actually hurt. And the same banks are now taking on even more risk via derivatives. It feels as though today we are still nearly powerless against Goldman Sachs, Google, Facebook, and other massive monopolies. If those companies don't take our money, then our government will via tax. If tax doesn't take it, then the high cost of living will. And cryptocurrency is one of the only ways we can really fight back without actually fighting. Politicians, sports players, people on TV, artists, these people used to care about making change for the better. But now it's evident that they too are mostly just stuck in egoistic self-interest and just saying the right words in public to fit whatever political agenda they side with or are funded by. Famous people were supposed to be people to look up to, society's role models, but not anymore. We don't really have role models or legendary figures anymore, besides Satoshi Nakamoto. So an upper class of capitalistic central bank exploiters have toxic values serving as a superstructure to their system, which, having become hypocritical and deceptive, has nothing more to do with the practical conduct of individuals or the driving force of the current epoch. Their toxic economics have become the opium of the people. There is a myth of prosperity, especially the form it has taken in the West. Oblivious to this fact, the masses are living in a twitching volcano, materially, economically, and politically. It's good to sever every link with all that is destined to sooner or later collapse. But don't go to the place of defense, but to the place of attack, by creating and supporting new collaborative spaces that will eventually become the premise for the future, for future formative action. Crypto, for example. The true remedy to the problems is really a new authentic economy, a human integrity, a fresh community never known before. This will be the setting of a different socio-economic system, crypto, which is trustless and permissionless. The next subject I seek to address is where we are now. Where has crypto got to? Cryptographic technology is now on the verge of providing the ability for individuals and groups to interact with each other in a total anonymous manner. Two persons may exchange messages, value, conduct business, and negotiate electronic contracts without ever knowing the true name or legal identity of the other, all without a middleman. These developments will completely alter the nature of government and their agenda-fueled regulations. It will affect their ability to tax and control economic interactions, their ability to keep information under control, and will even alter the nature of community and reputation. Blockchain-based crypto assets will keep everyone honest, and a whole layer of banking bureaucracy will slowly be removed. Crypto assets are so much more than a currency or a token. They are new ways of handling information. And these massive distributed, disruptive, tamper-proof blockchains will allow anyone to add to, but where no one can delete from. Just recently, an open letter from a Chinese student activist had been censored after going viral on social media in China. It was then published on the Ethereum blockchain. Also, a sexual misconduct case at the prestigious Peking University was covered up, and then witness statements were posted on the Ethereum blockchain. These new crypto systems create a great level playing field. The true firewall has been created. Blockchain secures freedom of speech, and that alone is very, very powerful. Blockchain technology is really just a few years old. It has gone from what was one coder's pet project to a worldwide 24 hours a day phenomenon. One that has sparked the imagination and activism of anti-corporatists, crypto-anarchists, utopians, entrepreneurs, and modern-day investors. Crypto assets have gone from being essentially worthless to dearly valuable, only to crash and rise again. A wild trading pattern that has few parallels in traditional markets. And crypto has certainly gone from nowhere to somewhere, and where it goes from here may be as messy and chaotic as where it's been. But it's also resilient and tough. It's like a big bear with small arrows thrown at it, but it feels no pain. Recently, Kik Messenger released its KIN token, and this has access to 300 million registered users soon. The Wax token, developed by the founders of OP Skins, will have access to the 400 million online gamers who already collect and trade video game assets. Just this very month, property was sold on the blockchain. The shipping of tons of almonds was done via the blockchain, and large lending of finance was done on the blockchain. This week it was announced that an Ethereum asset is now the second most valuable trading card in the world, worth $60,000. And this sends a message that digital assets backed by the blockchain have all the same benefits as tangible items in their value, tradability, immutability, and complete and irrevocable ownership. Venezuela and Iran are creating government-backed cryptocurrencies to avoid sanctions from America, and many other governments are trialing and researching their own crypto fiat, where many of which will be doomed to fail, and others will be used to control people. Currently there are over 250 crypto hedge funds, and many over-the-counter crypto options popping up for big players. There are now 10 substantial DEXs, decentralized exchanges, with more coming soon. And these are helping people trade anonymously and bypass things like the India government's ban on crypto trading. Physical locations are getting involved with crypto too. Malta and Gibraltar have become the leading locations for supporting crypto projects, with Switzerland, Germany, and the Cayman Islands all being very supportive too. And places like Prague and Buenos Aires and San Francisco each have over 100 Bitcoin accepting businesses. Even CNBC has a crypto slot on their TV channel now, and Bloomberg usually have a crypto story or two on their homepage. Now, as a side note, whatever CNBC or Bloomberg say, I would personally do the opposite. But we are currently on the brink of adoption, the brink of normal people investing, and on the brink of institutional money throwing itself into the crypto world. The year ahead will be very interesting for sure. Just in the last month, financial services giant Northern Trust, with around $10.7 trillion in assets, has quietly opened its fund services to a select group of crypto hedge funds. BlackRock asset management firm, with over $6 trillion in assets, has officially said it is looking into crypto. I mean, the crypto space is currently in a very good place, even if dollar prices don't reflect that. But that will come later as it's adopted more. The next subject I want to look at is, where are we heading? The governments and regulatory bodies in the USA still don't really get it. I watched all of this year's USA Congress hearings about crypto, and they don't really appear to know what crypto is. I mean, even if they did understand it, what can they do? Create FUD, create their own cryptos, or buy crypto? If they regulate too hard, then the innovation will move elsewhere, shooting themselves in the foot. A Bitcoin ETF will super help in the short term for new money to flow into the crypto space, but crypto doesn't need an ETF or even need the USA. There are trillions of dollars worth of fiat in the Middle East, Europe and Asia, and it's all just a matter of time. Denying investors on Wall Street, and denying American retail investors, and denying American development, and denying American ICO funding will leave the USA far behind in just 1 year's time, unless they get on the train. Google any of the world's top 50 companies, followed by the word blockchain. Many of them are trying to create their own sanitized, ring-fenced intranet blockchains that will likely just improve their own procedures with a little more efficiency. Now, these people are looking inwards and not outwards. But some companies do get it though, and are aligning with top 50 crypto assets in partnerships. This is interesting to know. IBM, Bank of America, MasterCard, Dell, and Nasdaq, to name just a few, have all filed for blockchain-related patents. Now, I obviously don't seem to get the ideology behind blockchain. This is like the opposite of open source. But these big corporations do know how to use force, and it will be a bumpy and interesting ride for sure. There is a fair chance that the IBM and Stellar Lumens partnership could replace the decrepit SWIFT and IBAN payments infrastructure as a near-future global standard. But the first industries to get smashed up by crypto will probably be online advertising, gaming, and supply chain. Eventually, I see the following: ICOs and STOs, security token offerings, will be seen as the best way to raise venture capital. The blockchain will be seen as the best way to store and transfer data. And tokenized economics will be seen as the most efficient way of managing blockchain systems and creating communities. I see tokenization appearing in things like securities, real estate, possessions, services, fan groups, and communities. Booking a room, taxi, train or plane, buying music or a movie, creating legal contracts, or getting insurance or healthcare, it's all going to change. Here is a light and humorous play with imagination. It's January 2020. Blockchain has hit mass adoption. I go into my local coffee shop and my coffee order is automatically processed using tokens on my phone. I'm debited out of my OMG-enabled wallet, and notified by my crypto messaging app. My loyalty tokens for my coffee are credited to my wallet too. I track the coffee beans using VeChain to a small farm in Nicaragua. I decide the farmer has done a particularly good job with this bean and send him my loyalty points as a tip, which he receives in Nicaraguan Cordobas. I hover to work on my e-board while vaping THC, bought with the gains from Hepcoin. I arrive and swipe into work. My arrival is logged and an API call submits it to the blockchain. My minute-by-minute payments begin to my e-wallet from my work's bank, powered by Chainlink. My office is empty. All the admin staff are out of jobs, now that we can securely and safely keep our database of contracts synchronized across disparate private systems, all routed to Ethereum via Aeon. I check my portfolio and decide that this is the day I can retire. I shoot finger guns to the HR lady Margaret, who is now an augmented reality AI, and I receive my severance package instantly as our smart contract flawlessly auto-executes. The finger guns were the input for my resignation. I strap on my jetpack and fly home, the one I purchased without the need for an escrow. The land's title is instantly transferred to my name and the government takes their tiny slice in tax. I pay for it using my loyalty points. I get home and respond no against a government Ethereum improvement proposal, as did 99% of us. Now in the crypto asset space, many projects will die and some new projects not even thought about yet will get into the top 30. But in this dance, value will start to be seen in what has actual real-world utility. Decisions will be made by consensus-based blockchain communities, replacing the top-down authority, replacing this top-down hierarchy and their strange voting systems. And as crypto assets are borderless and decentralized, it means there will simply just be less need for governments or nations. It's simply the nature of the beast. So we have an opportunity to reform the financial and social economic systems, to turn them into public utilities that they were supposed to be, a level playing field that everyone can indiscriminately use in their support, focus, energy and collaboration. What is coming is both a social and economic revolution. The last subject I want to quickly cover is, what can we actually do individually? We can spread awareness of crypto by helping friends and family learn about crypto, but more importantly, being invested in crypto is in many ways an attack on all centralized institutions, and I'm happy to be a part of it. Now, it's important not to get scared and get shaken out. And just remind yourself what today's youth will be using in a few years' time. When you look at today's teenagers, do you really think they're going to be going for savings accounts, traditional investments, banking loans at 20-30% interest? They're all going to go into crypto. Personally, I see private smart contracts and oracles being great investment strategies. But you've got to feel out what you want to back. I actually came up with the theme for this talk in the Institute of Crypto Anarchy in Prague this week over a coffee, and I really hope more of these types of spaces spring up. This is a place in Prague where there's a lot of crypto activists and anarchists. They bought this massive, beautiful building. There's a cafe downstairs which only takes crypto. And they've got a lot of talks and workshops and education. It's like a hub of a community. There's a lot of people go there and support the place. I really hope some more of these places spring up. Okay, have a fun day, everyone. And I really hope to meet some of you soon. Remember that within crypto, we are the ghosts of a war that we have not fought and will never need to fight.